Thank you, Dr. McMillan, the trustees, the faculty, and most importantly, the Albright class of 2014 for the honor and privilege to speak with you today. I'd like to begin by congratulating you as you earn your bachelor or master's degree. This is a great achievement. Did you know that 6.7% of the world has a college degree? Only 31% of American adults hold a bachelor's degree, and of those who start programs similar to the one here at Albright, less than 30% finish with a bachelor's degree. So through your hard work and perseverance, you've defied the odds. I think what makes this accomplishment even more impressive is that 95% of you earned your degree while working full-time. That's outstanding. Congratulations. It's hard to believe, but 30 years ago, I was graduating, and it was 1984. It was a very different time. That was the year that Apple unveiled their first Macintosh and Michael Jackson won 8 Grammys. And it was in that era that I had the privilege of hearing from a major automotive executive who spoke to my graduating class. And that day, and now 30 years later, his words stick out in my mind because he gave such bad advice. His comments revolved around a story about 2 friends camping in the woods. The story goes as follows. 2 best friends, Bob and Mike, decide to go camping together in the Rockies. While sleeping, a rabid bear began attacking their tent to get at them and their food. In a panic, Mike started to put on his running shoes and prepare for a mad dash. And his friend Bob, seeing this, turned to Mike and asked, "What are you doing? You can't outrun the bear." And at that point, Mike turned to his friend Bob and proclaimed, "I don't need to outrun the bear, I just need to outrun you." Now, my graduation speaker's message was clear, that if you climbed hard enough, pushed hard enough, overcame your rivals, peers, and friends, you could succeed. It's clear to me today, it was clear to me then, that he was wrong. And I believe your graduation today is clear evidence that his words were untrue. How many of you here have families and friends who help to support you as you work to get here today? In addition, as I understand it, Albright's degree completion program engages a cohort-style curriculum where your cohort group works together with you to help you reach the common goal of graduating as you are today. Upon reflection, I hope you'll agree that you are here today with the help of your family, cohorts, and friends, not because you outran them. So now it's 30 years later, and I'd like to share a different kind of message with you. I don't think that I've become particularly wise over the last 30 years, but I have learned a few things, and I hope in sharing them with you, maybe it'll provide a couple of points to reflect upon as you begin to map out your future. So every great speech invokes quotes sharing wisdom from others. And there are many great philosophers over the 1,000 years of humanity, and I've picked 3 to share with you today. The first is not from Socrates, Plato, or Winston Churchill, but instead from the philosopher and rapper LL Cool J. While you might not like his classic hits, such as What Up or Hit 'em High, I believe he actually shared a very valuable perspective. And I think it's one we can reflect upon. He proclaimed, "Do what you love. You'll be better at it." It sounds pretty simple, but you'd be surprised how many people don't get this one right. As you receive your degree today, you have new life and career options. So what do you want to do? What changes do you want to make? And this is a very personal matter. Upon graduation, I took a job in management consulting. It was a very sought-after job. I just had one problem, and that is that I quickly learned that I didn't like it. I traveled 5 days a week. I was a newlywed, and my wife told me she wouldn't have a family with me if I was never home, and I didn't enjoy the work. I was an individual contributor, and I prefer to be a part of a team. So like you, I had options, and I picked a new career path. I followed LL Cool J's advice and decided to do what I love, and I'm happier for it. With this in mind, as you look forward to your life and career, I suggest you ask yourself, what do you love? What is your passion? What special talent do you have? And perhaps most importantly, what difference can you make? On this matter, I turn to Albright's mission statement, which says, "We affirm the search for knowledge should not be separated from the search for wise and just solutions in human affairs and in the conservation of the natural world." Now, I think these are great words to reflect upon today, and I also think the spirit of these words are reflected in many of the degrees and job choices you have made. As I understand, members of this graduating class work in healthcare for the Children's Home of Reading, the Pennsylvania Department of Health, the Caring Foundation, the Reading and Lehigh Valley Hospitals. Others work here at Albright College and Montgomery Community College. Others have majored in criminal justice and public safety. So in summary here, on this first quote, as you graduate today, how will you use this gift of new choices and new options? And I suggest you do what you love. The next quote that I have comes from the great philosopher and singer-songwriter, James Taylor. In his one-man band album, he proclaimed, "The secret of life is enjoying the passage of time." So today you graduate, and this is a great accomplishment. You've had the good fortune to be at an outstanding college that has 155 years of history. You've pursued your academic interests. You've been able to interact with outstanding faculty and make strong bonds with your cohorts. And I hope you've enjoyed that experience. But regardless, today you begin a new chapter in your life. Now, if you're happy with your life today, you are very fortunate. But if you desire changes in your life, I suggest you take the initiative, leverage your new degree, and seek to make changes. I think of my life in chapters, and I equate them with big changes in my life, like moving to a new area, which I've done 12 times since my graduation 30 years ago. People ask me often, where did I like to live and why? And I have a hard time answering that. An easy answer is I had the good fortune of living in Paris, and for sure that would seem like it's a lot better than living in Detroit, Michigan, or Akron, Ohio. But I'm not so sure. For in Detroit, I met and married my wife. In Akron, my daughter Jackie was born. And here today, living in Philadelphia, I have the honor to be with you and to celebrate and to be part of a great company. So I recommend you live your life in chapters seeking to enjoy the passage of time. With this in mind, as you graduate today, you close one chapter and begin another. I suggest you remember what you have learned, you keep the friendships you have made, but you embrace that your newly earned degree, with it, you have new options and you can begin a new chapter in your life, whether you desire to do that today or in the future. Now, for my last quote, I've dug very deep in history, and my research led me to the great Garth Brooks and the lyrics of his song, "The Dance." In his song, Garth proclaimed, "I'm glad I didn't know the way it all would end, the way it all would go. Our lives are better left to chance. I could have missed the pain, but I'd have had to miss the dance." So throughout my life, I've had the opportunity to travel extensively, meet a lot of people, and I love reading history books. And I've learned that no matter how hard we try, life unfolds differently than what we expect. Some are very fortunate, others are not as fortunate. I've taken some, what I think are well-reasoned risks, and the same. Some have worked out well and others had surprises. But in my view, without taking risks, you miss out on so much of life. You took a risk when you enrolled in Albright. Working full-time, many of you with families, it was not a sure thing it would all work out well. But you took that risk, and here you are today. So as you move forward, I suggest you take some risks, get out there, seek some new challenges, and enter the dance. In closing, I hope my message resonates more than the one I received in my graduation 30 years ago. I thank you for the privilege to be with you here today. I congratulate you for earning your degree, which is a great accomplishment. Of course, I wish you luck as you begin the next chapter of your life, and I hope You follow LL Cool J's advice and do what you love. Listen to James Taylor and enjoy the passage of time. And like Garth Brooks, I hope you enjoy the dance. Thank you.